The story continues as the Fantastic Four arrive at the Baxter Building. Will they make it in time for tip-off?
Statistically speaking, the team that wins Game 3
Why don't you take the elevator? I could just fly there.
How pressing it more times does it make it go faster?
No, but flying would, so.
Statistically speaking,
We don't make tip-off, there is a 100% chance that Johnny is going to be too fired
I
up.
didn't know you were into stats.
See? Worked.
Okay, just helping Herb in the kitchen.
You?
You gotta have delicious snacks for the game.
Don't do that. You're gonna ruin your appetite.
And tonight, during this broadcast of the National Basketball Association, here's an exclusive look at the Fantastic Four First Steps.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head off into space and come back forever changed. Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking?
Okay. Is this guy good or what?
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family.
We will protect you.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel's been releasing a bunch more Fantastic Four trailers and clips, so we'll break it all down. Mostly themed around the basketball games that are happening right now. They actually did this way back when the original Chris Evans Fantastic Four movies came out too, with the Fantastic Four doing tie-in basketball promos using their powers to play basketball with Magic Johnson. Make as many puns as possible. Marvel really seems like they're doing a full court press here, trying to promote Fantastic Four just because it is going up against Superman this summer in July. We will see which movie winds up earning more money. Personally, right now, I'm actually banking a little bit more on Superman just because of the brand awareness around the world, but we will see. A lot of it just depends on which movies get released in China, and it seems like both of these movies are going to be released in China. One of the other big tricks in movies earning over $1 billion is also people seeing it multiple times and people taking all their families to see it. So which movie will people be more excited to see like 4 or 5 different times in theaters? If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. It's just getting started. Like, we'll get a bunch more footage in the next couple months.
And come on, the game's back on.
Okay, I'll be right
I
there.
apologize. I know I'm late for tip-off.
Remember last time we missed Game 4?
Yes, Johnny.
Most of this focuses on the Fantastic Four just being a family together. Like, they're really trying to sell the idea that they are a very tightly knit group of found family and little biological family because of Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, actual brother and sister. When the movie picks up, Reed Richards has been married to Sue Storm and she is pregnant with Franklin Richards, their first child. Some of this footage I think is actually from the movie itself, and some I think is just tie-in promo footage that they shot separately as a commercial for different events like these basketball events. Love the way they use this old-timey looking TV inside the Baxter Building to make it look like they're actually watching the game together, and the way that it transitions from 4:3 old school aspect ratio to widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio. But you notice throughout this brand new basketball trailer that the Fantastic Four face the Silver Surfer like we saw in previous trailers. She comes to Earth, the Shala Ball version, asks if they are Earth's protectors. She says yes, Sue Storm says yes, because currently in this universe, on their version of Earth, they are the only hero team on Earth. There are no Avengers, there are no other superheroes that exist on their world. There are supervillains that they've faced before, and one of the fun Easter eggs for that too, in the Fantastic Four comic book origin story, a lot of their classic villains also got powers based on the same cosmic rays that gave them their own powers. So a lot of their classic villain origin stories are tied to theirs, as you would expect in the comics. Best example of that is Doctor Doom. Obviously, for the movies, MCU live-action stuff, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom gonna have a bit of a different origin story. They haven't completely confirmed that he's going to be from their specific universe, only that we're supposed to see him at some point at the end of this movie. I'm starting to think that he might actually come from a completely different universe. In the post-credit scene or like the end tag scene that we see him in will just be completely disconnected and just meant to set him up in Avengers Doomsday. Like, we'll see their version of Earth being destroyed by this version of Galactus in the movie. Then at some point, they travel to the MCU. They wind up in that Thunderbolts post-credit scene to explain the timeline. And then completely separately, there'll be like a totally different tag scene at the end. Little tease Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom in live action with his evil team that he's putting together to go around and deal with the incursions.
Savvy.
But you notice later in the trailers, there's a scene of Sue Storm looking up at their spaceship on their launch pad, and it seems like it's about ready to take off, like they're preparing for a launch, and it looks like things are getting really, really crazy. So this scene might be them getting ready to board their jet to escape as Galactus is about to destroy their Earth. But you notice there's another really good HD high-res shot of the Baxter Building exterior next to their launch pad. And if you look at the maps that they handed out during Comic-Con last year, they actually give some names specifically to these different places in Manhattan around their universe. Notice they're calling their launch pad, which is in the East River with like a direct walkway right from the Baxter Building, the Excelsior launch pad, which is a big reference to Stan Lee's catchphrase. It's also the New York State motto, which translates to ever upward. Stan Lee started saying it during the 1960s after he'd created the Fantastic Four. He actually started using it during Stan's soapbox, the letters column that he put in comic books after a little while, like after he'd been doing the Fantastic Four comics for a while. It's just another example of them trying to bake in a lot of this classic 1960s real-life Marvel comic book energy to the movie itself, like classic Jack Kirby designs, classic Stan Lee, just because Marvel's first family was the Fantastic Four, literally and metaphorically. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created these characters before they created most of the classic Avengers characters that you know from a lot of the Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 movies, the Infinity Saga movies. The only big reason why I say like the X-Men movies became really big in the early 2000s, sort of led the charge for modern comic book films along with the R-rated Blade movie with Wesley Snipes and then the Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans, is mostly just the way that Hollywood reacted to adapting a lot of these movies and the way that a lot of the IP got carved up when Marvel went bankrupt and a lot of other companies just bought up the rights to a lot of this stuff in the movies. Most of this other footage that they released for the Fantastic Four movie is just the family itself joking around dinner, just getting ready for the actual basketball game. Some of this I think they splice in with actual footage of the movie, but like them sitting around watching their old-timey TV in their lounge here, this looks really cool. Like I love the design of this movie. Seems like it's just brand new promo footage for the basketball stuff specifically, and it won't actually be in the movie, and it's just spliced in with, say, like them cooking in the kitchen, like Ben Grimm cooking in the kitchen with Herbie, which is in the actual movie.
Don't do that. You're gonna ruin your appetite.
Every time I see him cooking with Herbie, talking about spices, making things taste better, all I can think about is all the memes the people posted of the bear with Ben Grimm inside the bear. If you've not seen that separate TV series, Ebon Moss-Bachrach is fantastic during that. It's a great TV series, but obviously has nothing to do with Marvel. Part of me does wonder, though, if they actually wrote him doing that in the Fantastic Four movie after they saw him in the bear. Like, he was so fantastic during that series, they're probably like, you know what, we should actually put him cooking during this. There have been so many cooking memes. Let him cook. What is he cooking? Generally, this stuff seems like it's happening earlier in the movie because it's all tied to those scenes of Sue Storm revealing to Ben Grimm and her brother Johnny Storm that she is pregnant, and it is Ben Grimm who figures it out right away, like, oh, you're pregnant, clearly. I think part of the idea is that as Galactus and Silver Surfer are showing up, that's when she's about to give birth, like she's really pregnant by that point in the movie, and I think early on there were some rumors that she was supposed to give birth while they were still in space at some point in the movie. But it does seem like they go into space a couple different times. Like there's all this footage of them in the past before they get their powers, which seems like it's meant to predate the events of the movie, and they'll just show it on highlight reels in the background, like you see Ben Grimm watching footage of himself before he turned into rock form and got all their powers. All the footage of Reed Richards with Sue Storm and her powers seeming like they go on the fritz, like she disappears for a second, then comes back into view, might be some point in the middle of the movie, maybe when she's giving birth. Really easy way to tell is that you can actually see them wearing their newer spacesuits with their powers because Ben Grimm is in rock form in that new looking spacesuit. So at least at some point later in the movie, they go into space, and then by the end of the movie, we know they have to be in space because their spaceship comes to the MCU universe across dimensions. Everybody let me know in the comments if you actually think it was smarter for Marvel to try and set this in another universe so they can just do it as a 1960s period piece and step around the whole question of where were the Fantastic Four in the 1960s of the real MCU that we've been watching during the Infinity Saga movies.
Extra dimensional, what does that mean?
Personally, I think it solves a lot of problems like they had during the Eternals movie. The Eternals movie tried a different way of explaining this problem, like, why didn't the Eternals help out during the final battle in Avengers Endgame? Well, because technically, they were actually working against humanity. Personally, I think it'll actually wind up being a smarter move on their part, because it also allows them some chances to show you what it looks like when Galactus does destroy a version of Earth. This is also a good way to motivate their characters during Avengers Doomsday and why they would want to protect the MCU, like why they would feel so personal during this conflict, because they just watched their own Earth die, so they don't want to see it happen to the MCU version of Earth. The funny thing about that too, also probably not going to end well for them because we know this has to push into Avengers Secret Wars by the end. Everybody's going to wind up on a version of The Void or Battleworld or whatever they call it, just because they seem like they're going with a version of Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars for the adaptation. Fun fact too, there's actually been a bunch of footage of the Avengers Doomsday actors, all the Avengers actors together in Bahrain filming scenes. And behind the scenes, you actually see the camera here looking like it's filming the desert area. It seems like they're actually filming scenes that are supposed to take place on the Void. Not to be confused with the Sentry's version of the Void character, this is going to be fun too, especially for casual audiences like, wait a minute, are you talking about the Void that's a person and it's like a place inside him that he creates? Or is it the Void planet from the Loki series? Are those the same thing technically? This is why YouTube explainer videos were created in the first place for stuff like this. But what'll probably happen is in the next couple months, we'll see more tie-in, more promo footage like this for the basketball games. Stuff that doesn't actually wind up in the movie, but extra footage that they did shoot, like it were actual scenes in the movie. Personally, I actually kind of like this because they can have a little bit more fun with it, and it's not really spoilery for the events of the movie. We will see what their tactic is when they start promoting Avengers Doomsday, like what kind of trailers they try to release, because it'll probably be a little bit like Infinity War and Endgame, where it's trailers without actual trailers dropping. Like, how can we drop a trailer that doesn't have any actual footage or reveal anything about the actual movie itself? Mexico Comic-Con CCXP is happening this weekend, Marvel and DC are going, and Netflix's To Doom is happening, so there might be some more trailers for a couple different things in the next couple days. Whatever they wind up releasing, of course I'll do videos for it. So be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that stuff. Everybody click here to learn all about Galactus in the movie and see what he's actually going to look like. It's pretty crazy. And click here for all my brand new Superman videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.